If family vloggers, tradwives, and maha momfluencers weren't bad enough, what with the child exploitation, health misinformation, and regressive gender ideology? Today, I have the displeasure of introducing you to an even more insidious group of parents, the movement of moms who want more white babies.
We will repopulate the species.
Welcome to the disturbing world of white nationalist mommy influencers. Now, the videos I just showed you are some of the more popular and more extreme moms in this community. First up is Sarah Elizabeth, who alongside her husband posts on Instagram and TikTok with basically the same few videos, all about having more white babies. Almost all of her posts have some sort of caption like, "Let's bring back large white Christian families," or "POV, you know your race is a minority race and we need to bring it back to its former glory so you have half a dozen kids," or "Imagine if all young white couples started having at least 6+ kids. We could save our race and bring it back to its former glory." She has 65,000 TikTok followers and hundreds of videos that are basically all just about having more white babies. Her husband, who goes by Honorable Crusader on Instagram, has 100,000 followers, and all of his posts are basically the same as his wife's. He is also a self-identified right-wing extremist. The reason I'm starting with this couple is because their views seem really extreme. They are incredibly upfront about their white nationalism. And while it seems like this is kind of like rage bait, it's not. This is what they truly believe, and they are not hiding their racism. I wish that this was an extreme position, but so many right-wing conservatives feel the same way. They just don't say it as explicitly. Here's some examples of people with the same message, mommy influencers who are promoting the same thing, just a little bit more subtly.
When you take a bite, if it's strawberries, it's a girl, and if it's blueberries, it's a boy, okay?
All right, 3, 2, 1, eat. Go ahead, Wonderman.
It's a boy! It's a boy!
It's a boy?
Do you guys see the blueberries?
Oh,
We're having another brother!
hooray!
Now, on the surface, that looks like a regular gender reveal. It's not even that flashy. But if you dig just a tiny bit, like into their comments section, you'll see that their views are basically the same as the more explicit white nationalists. Let me read you some of the comments that were on this gender reveal. "So many white babies. Love to see it. Good job, whites. Beautiful white family. People suddenly have a problem with families having children? What the hell? Good to see there are people still out there still making great contributions to the wider European family. This is what an American family should look like. Like Catholic families who have 5+ kids, I'm on it. This is exactly what mine looks like. 5 sons and 1 beautiful daughter. Blue and green eyes and blonde hair. Gorgeous white family. Congratulations. We need more white families reproducing. Good job. Amazing bloodline." And I want to draw attention to this one because it was liked by the author. They could go in and delete all of these white nationalist comments, all of these horrifically racist comments. They haven't done that. And on top of that, they've liked some of the comments. They are subtly telling their followers exactly how they feel without being as explicit. Another thing that these more subtle white nationalists will do is sometimes split up their views into multiple videos. So while a pregnancy announcement or a gender reveal might not have the explicit racist agenda, that might be found in some of their other videos. Let me show you. This is the Wilson family homestead, and here's a video of her announcing another pregnancy. Okay, so pretty normal, pretty trad wifey, but nothing explicitly racist there, right? But then we go to another one of her videos, this one using a sound from Charlie Kirk.
We're just going to outbreed these people. We are. I mean, we're going to have more babies. And 20 years from now, they're going to say, why is the country so right wing? Well, you were too busy having abortions and having gay sex, and we got married and had kids, and we will repopulate the species.
By the way,
I'm not kidding, by the way.
Now, technically, Charlie Kirk was talking about liberals, right? He was saying we're going to outbreed the liberals. But talking about repopulating the country is always racist. Here's something else that was posted on the Wilson Family Homestead page. Remember who you are, white girl. Be proud of your culture. So while her pregnancy announcement didn't have anything explicitly white promoting, the rest of her content does. And it's a subtle way to bring people into your page. Oh, a cute pregnancy announcement. People who are trad wife curious might see it and be like, that's adorable. She's on a farm. She's pregnant. I love that. And then they get funneled into this white supremacist content. The movement has also grabbed non-parents, people who don't have children yet, but want to push white nationalism through the white replacement theory.
As of the census in 2020, the white population is 57%. 57% of the US population is white. The biggest issue facing white people and facing our country today is not inflation, it's not the economy, it's not that fascists are running the White House, because that couldn't be further from the truth. If that actually was true, we would be in a much better situation than we are now. The biggest threat to United States citizens, heritage Americans, is white replacement. So if you want to take up a cause, if you have a page, if you want something to fight for your own people. Take your own side and fight for white survival. Be proud of who you are. Unite with one another. We need more white unity in this country if we're going to survive. If we don't quell this invasion that's going on in our country, we won't have a country anymore. You won't recognize it. You won't feel safe. And pretty soon we will be like South Africa.
Sorry, we need to rewind for 1 second because I'm pretty sure she just said that we would be in a better state if we were a fascist country. Hold on.
It's not that fascists are running the White House, because that couldn't be further from the truth. If that actually was true, we would be in a much better situation than we are now.
Yeah. Okay, got it. She thinks that fascism would be better than democracy. And that's not like an unhinged view for these people. If you haven't heard of white replacement theory, also known as the Great Replacement Theory, it is an ethno-nationalist concept suggesting that Western nations with predominantly white populations are experiencing a deliberate demographic shift due to immigration and multiculturalism, resulting in the replacement of their original populations with people of color. While it is associated with extremist views, its language can be less overtly racist, making it more appealing to a broader audience. The theory has inspired various acts of violence, as some individuals have cited it as motivation for attacks against minority groups. In recent years, discussions surrounding the Great Replacement Theory have become increasingly mainstream, with certain media figures and politicians referencing its concepts in the context of immigration and cultural identity. As such, it raises important conversations about race, identity, and the dynamics of modern society.
I am Kylie, and white conservatives are terrified of POC outnumbering us. And I truly believe this is the motivation behind a lot of hateful policies in the US. If you haven't heard of the Great Replacement Theory, it is that over time, if enough black and brown immigrants come to the US, as well as white people having children with POC, then over time, POC will outnumber white people. And the reason that this is so unsettling to a lot of white people, especially conservative white people, is that they are terrified that if POC become in power, then they will treat us like we've treated them in the past, which is obviously not great. It involves subjugation of people, enslavement, assault, violence of basically every kind. And I think that white people can feel the shift happening as they are becoming more and more outnumbered. And that is why they are clinging so tightly to power in Congress and with the president right now. And that's why it's so funny when white people deny that racism exists, because if they didn't think racism did exist, they wouldn't be scared of being outnumbered. But they understand the ways that we have treated people of color has been atrocious, and thus they are scared of the tables turning and of being in that position of subjugation.
This perspective is so important because it's true of almost all oppressors. They are so afraid of the oppressed getting power. We can look at this with gender too, right? Like, men are so afraid of women becoming empowered because they think that if women have power, we will treat men the way that we have been treated. Why are white people so afraid of black people having power? Because they think that black people will treat us the way that we treated them. It's why they cling so hard to the structures of racism that we have put in place, because they are so afraid of being treated the way that we have historically treated others. Here's some of the content that I found really quickly on Instagram and on TikTok spewing this great replacement theory. No, Ella, you actually are evil if you think that. The real reason you feel called to something more is because your bloodline didn't survive empires for you to race mix. These are just completely made up statistics. I cannot find these anywhere on the internet, but this is very common. They talk about this all the time. There are so many posts about this exact thing. 100 years ago, 30% of the population was white. Now it's like 6%, and none of that is true. It's just not true, but it is literally everywhere. And this is one of the messaging points that they have clearly gotten from other Republicans, from other conservatives, from other white nationalists. And there's another one too, in addition to this white population one. It's this: proud to be Black, proud to be Muslim, proud to be gay. Can you imagine hearing proud to be white? Girl, yes. Have you never heard of the Proud Boys? Here it is again. Proud to be Black, proud to be Asian, proud to be Indian, proud to be Native. But as soon as you're proud to be white, that's a problem. Yes, because white people have historically been the oppressor. Saying that you're proud to be white is really just saying you're proud to have been a colonizer, to have been an oppressor, to have harmed others, to uphold your race's power. A lot of people will see things like this and say, oh, it's just not worth worrying about. It's such a fringe position. But unfortunately, it's not. This message is just under the surface of what an increasing number of Republicans are saying. When our government officials talk about their concern over the falling birth rate, they mean they're worried about the white birth rate. When they talk about wanting more babies, they actually mean more white babies.
So let me say very simply, I want more babies in the United States of America.
Fertilization. I'm still very proud of it. I don't care. I'll be known as the fertilization president. That's okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. I've been called much worse. Actually, I like it, right? I like it. And I became the father of fertility. That is true. No, it just made a lot of sense to me. She explained it well. Because we want more babies, to put it very nicely. And for this same reason, we will also allow new parents to deduct major newborn expenses from their taxes, so that parents that have a beautiful baby will be able. So we're pro-family. Nobody's ever said that before.
Nobody's ever said that before.
Okay, go ahead.
So let me speak a little bit about the reality that 1 in 3 Americans are underbabied. What does underbabied mean? That means that you either don't have any children or you have less children than you would normally want to have.
Mm-hmm. Underbabied. We're underbabied. The thing is, if they actually want higher birth rates, they'd give a shit about maternal health care deserts, access to OBGYNs and prenatal care, and high infant and maternal mortality rates. But they don't care about any of that because so many of these issues don't affect affluent white families the same way that they affect minorities. When rural and Black families are hurt by these policies or lack thereof, they don't care. Their laws and policy decisions actively harm people, mostly women, mostly mostly underprivileged and disenfranchised, and the wealthy white women who are harmed in the process are just collateral damage. Before you tell me it's not that deep, yes it is. This is all part of their white nationalist agenda. And these extremist views aren't isolated. These content creators don't just want more white babies. This should come as no surprise, but they are also anti-immigrant, anti-feminist, anti-Semitic, and more. Here are a few examples. Remember Sarah, who I showed you earlier, famous for all of her 6 white baby videos? This is a comment on one of her videos. Every single one of the kids looks like models, and the blue eyes is cherry on top of it. That's some elite Aryan genetics. The painter would be proud. The painter referring to Adolf Hitler. Sarah liked this comment. Here's a woman who goes by Ari on Twitter. Getting married and having beautiful white babies is seriously the greatest achievement and dream any white woman could ever have in her life. Here's another one of her posts. America seriously needs a brand new nationalist party. True America first, Israel never. Make America white again. With a propaganda poster where a family is doing the Nazi salute. She has also posted this. How white men look when they know the Jew is the real enemy and the blacks/browns are just their decoys. Islam and Judaism are the same shit. Okay, well, that part's true because Islam and Judaism and Christianity are all the same shit. They all come from the Old Testament. They're all Abrahamic religions. Like, that's how that works. These people don't have a lot going on up here, but what they do have going on is racist and anti-Semitic and violent. And this isn't just something that's happening in the US. This is another creator who is not US based. I believe she's in Australia. As Prime Minister, I am lining all streets with deciduous trees and giving major tax cuts to white couples having 3+ babies. Imagine hating me and all I've done is told you to have white babies, remigration is the nice option, the tiny hats are the demons, and all pedos deserve medieval torture. When she's talking about the tiny hats, she is talking about yarmulkes, what Jewish people wear. And here's another one. Tiny hat problems require tiny mustache solutions. I think that's pretty clear. It is incredibly dark, and it is all part of the same white nationalist system. This is the slippery slope we're often talking about when we talk about the alt-right pipeline, the trad wife to white nationalist pipeline, because it's easy to see a cute gender reveal or a cute pregnancy announcement on a farm and think that looks ideal, that looks lovely, that looks like the slow life. But it's easy to be slowly indoctrinated into these white nationalist views. And the more you see them, the more normalized they become. So while this is currently still a kind of fringe position, at least when it comes to being explicit about it, it's becoming so much more mainstream. 15, 20 years ago, when people were talking about the Great Replacement theory, that was fringe. And now it has become so mainstream that we have the president and the vice president talking about it. We have political leaders all over the world talking about it. It has influenced policy. It has increased anti-immigrant sentiment all over the world. So while these things start as extreme positions that you can kind of brush off and say they're not a big deal, they slowly make their way into the public discourse in a way that they become less extreme. They become the norm. They become mainstream. And that is what is so concerning, because the fact that these white nationalist mommy bloggers exist isn't surprising, but the fact that they are able to post things so confidently, things that are outwardly racist and homophobic and anti-Semitic and promote violence against non-white people, should be cause for concern. The fact that these accounts can exist on social media at all, let alone have hundreds of thousands of followers and comments from hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people supporting them, is really scary. And the reason it's so important to talk about, and the reason that I'm talking about it in this video, is because when you're aware, you can notice it happening to yourself. You can find yourself looking at a video that you might have previously been like, oh, that's cute, and just ignored, and now think, what is the ulterior motive here? Are they pushing an agenda? Are there racist dog whistles that I need to be looking out for? When you have this knowledge, you are more media literate. You can consume this content from a critical perspective, and you can catch yourself before you fall down these pipelines. So just be aware. Don't brush off this kind of content as extreme and unrelatable, because there are people who are getting sucked in by it. And the more we know, the more we talk about it, the less effective it will be. Okay, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this kind of content, please like, comment, subscribe. If you're new here, I'm Ileana. I talk about the intersection of politics and parenting, and I make videos that are kind of a mix of commentary and politics. I would love to have you follow me here and elsewhere. I'm everywhere as @IleanaJustine. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts below. I want to hear what you think about this kind of content. If you've seen any of these creators before, if you've seen this kind of videos before, have you just brushed off these people as extremists, or do you see the insidiousness of their content? Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye.